Welcome to Sports Roundtable. I am your host, Brandon Big B Hickman, and we're talking basketball right inside. This week seems like the last week of regular conference play, regular games. Coach Queen's here. How you doing?
Doing good.
Hoggett High School, Vikings basketball. Y'all looking good, Coach. Last week, Laney, let's talk about it.
Yeah, we had a good week last week again. 2 wins, both on the road. Went to Laney on Tuesday night and won 55-38, and then went to North on Friday and won 63-43. Really gotten off to great starts in our last 3 games. You know, last Friday night against West Brunswick, we led 14-0. We were up 23-9 at the end of the first quarter against Laney on Tuesday. We were up 36-8 in the first half against North on Friday night. So, you know, when you get off to a good start like that, it really helps. Certainly not digging a hole, but causing the other team to have to fight out of a hole early on. So, been really pleased with our starts in the last few games.
That's good, Coach. I've seen, maybe since, I don't want to say the middle of the season, but a little bit before the middle of the season, just a gel happening with Hoggett Vikings basketball. Do you see that too?
Yeah, we've got a group of guys that have played together a lot, and we changed some things this year as far as what we were running offensively, and so that takes a little bit of time to. When you're doing anything that's a little bit new. But, we also have a core of seniors that has played a lot of varsity basketball. And coming down the stretch here, those guys want to achieve their goals, and, their careers are winding down. And so that usually, it causes a little bit more focus than when you have a young team.
Correct. You got some plays. Let's check them out.
These are highlights from our game out at Laney on Tuesday, and Sebastian Hedera, who had a really good week shooting the ball, getting us off to a good start, and Brady Rankin as well. Brady had 15 points in the first quarter of the game, so he really got off to a great start. Cam Blanks knocking down that shot right there. Cam's just had a great season for us. Doesn't always have stats that are going to pop off the page, but is a great leader for us, great point guard. And in a lot of ways, how he goes is how we go. So, you can see that, we were shooting the ball really well and really did a good job defensively. We're able to take their top guys and get them out of rhythm and just continue to put a lot of pressure on the offensive end. Like I said, in the first quarter, we had 23 points. They did a much better job defensively, but this was the last play of the first half. Not exactly how you draw that one up, but it went in, and obviously you make a shot like that. That's you don't count on things like that, but that gave us a little bit of more momentum going into the locker room. And great pass there from Cam Blanks to Chris Gibbs, who had a good week for us, and did a good job in the second half of not letting them get back in the game. Luke Lamport finishing right there and getting fouled. Then we went down to North Brunswick on Friday night, and we made 8 threes in the first half. I think our last 6 baskets were threes. We went from 21 to 39 on 6 threes that were made. Sebastian had 14 points in the second quarter.
Wow.
And then Brady also had a good night, had 18 points, and they had their Hall of Fame induction ceremony before the game, and it was a big night for them. But I was really proud of our guys for just jumping out and getting off to a really good start. And we shot the ball really well from the perimeter in the first half, and we really challenged our guys at halftime to not just continue to settle for that, to make sure that that we did some other things instead of just relying on making threes.
Right.
And when we came out in the second half, as you'll see here, we were able to get the ball inside. Jackson Massey with a good finish there, and the next play again is another one where we get the ball inside to him, and then we were able to, because of the way we shot the ball in the first half, we were able to get some penetration and find our guys inside because they were paying a lot of attention to our guys out on the perimeter. Our guards did a really good job of finding our big guys, and Jackson and Chris were, I think, 8 for 8 from the floor. So being able to score in a variety of ways is really important. And then we had some injury issues last week. Had a couple of guys that went down and probably done for the year, and another kid got hurt. And so Sam Jones, who you see making that shot right there, this was his first varsity action.
Oh, wow.
Moved him up from the JV team for the game, and he gave us some really good minutes and scored a couple of baskets. And it was a good game to get him some opportunities out there. Here he is finishing again. And depending on what our injury situation is, we'll kind of find out today at practice how guys are, and we may need Sam again this week. We had another JV kid that we had moved up that he's dealing with some injuries, so we only had 9 guys dressed for the game on Friday night. So we were able to stay out of foul trouble and build a comfortable lead, so it really didn't affect us. But you don't want to go into these big games this week and only have 9 guys healthy.
Exactly. I'm seeing a lot of, and you can talk about it if you want to, a lot of fundamental passing.
Well, we work a lot. We work a lot on our passing, and we try to move the ball a lot and share the ball and make the defense work. Not necessarily trying to run clock and slow the game down, but just making sure that we're quickly moving the ball and finding open guys and creating shots with passes. And our guys have done a great job. I think we had 17 assists on our 22 made field goals on Friday night, and so that's we like it when our assist to field goal ratio is high.
Big. Last week of regular conference play. Tuesday, tomorrow night, you had Topsail.
Yeah, we got Topsail tomorrow night at home. It's our senior night, so we'll be honoring those 5 seniors.
Okay.
Big night, always an emotional night for seniors, and especially 3 of these guys have been 3-year starters for us on the varsity level. So big night for us. And then Thursday we go to New Hanover, and that game's going to decide the regular season championship in some shape, way, or form. So big week for us.
This week, regular season ends. Conference tournament the following week, then we see what's going on with playoffs.
Right, and we've clinched the number 1 4A seed from the conference, so we know that we will have a first round bye in the state playoffs that following week, and we'll have a home game on that Thursday night in the second round.
Congrats, Coach. It's time. Hey, Hoggett Vikings, get ready. It's going down this week. Topsail Tuesday at New Hanover on Thursday, and it's time for conference play or conference tournament play. So get ready for that. Thank you, Coach.
No problem.
We'll be right back with more Sports Roundtable, all brought to you by Papa John's. Welcome back to Sports Roundtable. I am your host, Brandon Big B, and we're talking women's, Hoggett Viking women's varsity basketball right now. Like we talked about earlier, last week of regular season play, Coach. How you doing?
Doing all right. I think we're ready. It's a long season.
Yes.
So we're ready for kind of that last stretch and move into conference tournament playoffs.
Let's talk about it. Earlier last week, Laney played Laney, Hoggett versus Laney, 44-28.
Yeah, our girls were ready. The first time around when we played Laney, it was a tough one. We lost in overtime, and our girls felt like we really didn't show what we could do. So Tuesday night they came out and gave just a great defensive effort for the first 3 quarters.
Right.
Fourth quarter, it kind of got away from us a little bit as far as defensively, but the first 3 quarters probably the best defense that I've seen our girls play this whole season.
Man, that's amazing.
So it was good. Yeah, we talked a lot of halftime about continuing that momentum from the first half, and they did a good job of that in the third quarter.
Cool.
So yeah, we were able to hold on to that one and play really well.
After Tuesday, you traveled to North.
Friday was a different story.
Friday, it looked a little tight right there.
It
Coach,
was a different story. Yeah, the girls were. We could just see they weren't ready to play. You could tell in how we started the game, and just their body language, and so it was definitely a struggle. they had to fight really hard to try to win that game. Somehow they were able to pull it out in the end. But you know, North played really well. They did. Their shooters, you know, Lydia Bradshaw shot extremely well. So, you know, it was just one of those nights where.
And it was a tough night. It was Hall of Fame night in North Brunswick.
It was. It was. They had a big crowd, a lot of people there.
Right.
And they played well in that game. But as I said, we were fortunate to come out of there with a W that night. Got you.
This week coming up, you're going to Towson, but before we get into there, with the playoffs coming up, was this the last week of regular season play? What are you saying to your young ladies?
We got to finish strong. You know, we still have work to do to get to where we want to be, to position ourselves for hopefully, you know, a first-round home game in the playoffs. That's not guaranteed to us right now. So they know that they have work to do. These 2 games this week are extremely important for us, as well as the 2 teams we're playing. They're in a battle in the 3A side. So big games on the line for everybody involved, Tuesday and Thursday. So yeah, we've just been talking to our girls a lot about that. You know, they've got to be well prepared. How they came out and played Friday night can't happen this week, and they know that. So hopefully they will be prepared mentally and ready to go.
A lot of energy probably be in the room this Tuesday, senior night.
It is. We only have 2 seniors. Okay. So, you know, it's not a huge thing for us, but we do have 2 seniors, and they've been great leaders. Been with us since they were sophomores on the varsity team, and have done great things. Like I said, they've displayed great leadership this entire season, and they're going to be missed for sure. But only having 2, you know, we have a lot of girls still there, and so they're ready to play well for those 2 seniors tomorrow night and get things done.
That's what it is. So Tuesday, Topsail. Thursday, New Hanover High School.
At New Hanover, yes, sir. That's always a battle. You know, it doesn't matter. In that game, you kind of throw records out the window, and you know, it's always a battle, especially at Hanover. Right. It's a tough place for us to play. So. Got you. Again, the girls have to be focused and ready for business.
Right. Then, like the men's, everything dies down on Thursday, and then we see who's conference champions.
Yeah, we'll figure out exactly.
And then conference tournament the following week.
Yeah, that starts on Tuesday for us. So
for Tuesday,
the following week, the girls. So that week for conference tournament, the girls play Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and the men are Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So So yeah, we would play Tuesday. Would be the first round of the conference tournament on the 18th.
Good luck, Coach.
So it's winding down.
We down to
it's getting there.
Oh, good luck, Coach. Get ready. Harriet High School, all the fans, all the definitely students and alum, of course, faculty, parents, get ready this week. Senior night on Tuesday at Harriet High School, and then we're going to travel to Market Street to play New Hanover High School on Thursday. So good luck on everything.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll be back, right back, with more Sports Roundtable, all brought to you by Papa John's. Welcome back to Sports Roundtable. I'm your man, Big B. Brandon Big B Hitman right here. We're talking basketball, the last week of regular season, varsity basketball, high school basketball. We're talking about varsity Wildcat basketball right now, men's Wildcat basketball. How you doing, Coach?
Good. How about you?
Everything is well. Last week, went to South on Tuesday. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, South they came in our place, and the kids they came in, and it always worries me with our youth and our group if we don't have a big crowd, you know, how are they gonna, but their energy was good. Effort's always good, but their energy, they played really hard. So we had a good outing that night.
That is great. And then Friday at Ashley, Hanover 75, Ashley 50.
Yes, sir.
So it was real, it almost looked like some jail situation, some real focus.
Well, they all think, I dressed 14, and they all think they should start and play the most minutes and all that stuff, which they're an extremely competitive group. But everybody played quite a bit all week. And the deal with us right now, if we're making shots, we're playing pretty well. If we're not making shots, we can turn it into a grind. But I always talk about the defensive side of the floor because that's where our identity needs to start, and the young guys are starting to figure that out.
Good. That's good. With that, I wanted to also ask you a question because we talked off camera just a few minutes ago about how you said, I'm really worried about the next practice and not the next game or the next how we fall in the conference. Do you convey that to your guys?
Every day. I mean, one day at a time. We got to come in. We got late practice tonight. We got to have a really good one, and then we get on the bus and go to West Brunswick tomorrow, which I think they say the gym holds 900. It feels like 5,000 every time we walk in that place, and it'll be. I mean, their student section, their fans down there in Charlotte do a really good job of backing their program, so that's going to be a grind.
Right.
You know, we're fortunate enough to get through that. We come back, have one day of preparation, and then Hoggard comes in on Thursday for our senior night. We got 3 seniors, so it feels like the season just started, but it's wrapping up pretty quick.
And so not the normal schedule of a week because you got only one day.
Yeah, this is our gauntlet week. We go to West, who's a really good team with Jaden Parker and those guys, and then one day of prep, and then Hoggard's having a fantastic season, and we got to host them, and that's always the big rivalry or whatever.
Huge rivalry.
Yeah.
And I know the gym will probably definitely be a little roaring a little bit.
should have a good crowd for that one for sure.
Yeah. So this wraps up the last week of regular conference play or regular season, and then you go into the conference in the following week conference tournament. How do you feel going into the conference tournament?
I mean, I feel pretty good. We're telling the kids, especially that sophomore group that is our dominant group, we've only guaranteed 4 more games. You got 2 this week. If you got to take care of business of that conference, then you get into tournament play. It could be one and done. You could go in conference tournament, not play well, not have your best, whatever it is, and go home and you're done that week. And then you're fortunate enough to get in the state playoffs. You drop that first one, season over, just like that.
Wow.
So it's just trying to maintain focus and take one day at a time and take care of business. Whether it's a drill, shooting a free throw, whatever, just it's time to lock in.
As we come closer to the end of the season, do you see any players that you know are going to play on the next level?
It's hard. I've had quite a few go on to the next level. I've got some sophomores that if they continue to develop, grow, maturity, do what they got to do in the classroom. We got a couple guys that have a chance for sure, but I mean anything can happen.
That's big. So this week, Wildcat basketball, get ready because it's going down. I'm going to tell you right now where they're going to be. West Brunswick on Tuesday. Tomorrow, you need to get on the road, Wildcats, and try to fill that gym up if you can. And on Thursday, New Hanover High School versus Hoggard. Classic rivalry. The gym's going to be crazy. I know all the parents are going to be there, all the fans, all the students. So get on out there and check them out and see what's going to happen. It's exciting times in varsity basketball right now. So congratulations and good luck on everything that's going on.
I appreciate it.
We'll be right back with more Sports Roundtable, all brought to you by Papa John's. Welcome back to Sports Roundtable. I'm your host, Brandon Big B, and we're talking women's basketball, women's varsity basketball. Ashley, Screaming Eagles, having a great year. Coach Gail, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Every time Coach Gail comes in, she's smiling. So I always say, why you smiling, Coach Gail? Talk to me. Last week, Friday, where were you at Tuesday? I'm sorry, last week.
We were at Topsail.
At Topsail.
Yep.
What was the score there? I didn't get that. We'll talk about it when we come back.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Friday. New Hanover High School, Ashley at Ashley.
Yeah.
66, Hanover 18. Got way ahead. Let's talk. What happened?
Yeah. We started off with our pressure, full court pressure, like we were trying to do early on teams and try to get a little lead going. And without their starting point guard and their leading scorer, it kind of led for us to get some easy transition baskets and steals and everything. So that's kind of what enabled us to get a good start and lead.
I got you. Do you see what I see, and I've said this as the season progresses, I see your young ladies gelling more, the younger of them. Of course, Sania's there, but they know their position. I think they're playing inside of, I won't say inside of themselves, but they're playing inside of something that is very cohesive right now.
Oh,
Do you see that? Or?
Oh, yeah. And, you know, and that's what you want, even though, you know, nothing is perfect. And I tell the girls that it's okay not to be perfect. No one's perfect. But, you know, try to be better and get that you know, that chemistry on the court and everybody know their roles and understand that, you know, sometimes we just need rebounds from you. Sometimes we need hard defense, getting loose balls, whatever it is. And if you're around the basket, grab some rebounds, put the ball back up. And you can kind of see them understanding that, you know, Sania's going to get her points. That's going to happen, and she should. You know, she's one of the best players in the country, so that's going to happen. So, you know, I think as the season has gone on and as we continue to go, you know, everybody's kind of, you know, doing their job and their role a little bit better, yes.
I had a chance to peep at a highlight, and I just saw them automatically go into a play. It was no call. It was just, I just saw them moving. And I was like, they're gelling.
Yeah.
And that's what I saw. I said, that's very cohesive right there, regardless of, you know, what was going on the court. They were super focused, like laser, like bing.
Yeah,
you know?
and that's what we want. We've been trying to talk to them about moving, especially moving without the ball. Sometimes we get in the habit of just standing, whether it's on the rebound and not crashing, or not boxing out on the defensive end, or just maybe watching another teammate do something.
Right.
You know, so, you know, we've been on them a little bit about, you know, being a little bit more fluid on the offensive end and make sure that we're kind of with a purpose and moving when you don't have the ball.
Got you. Now, coming up this week, like we've been talking, the last week of regular season, you are senior night on Tuesday. You play South Brunswick.
Yep.
So how you feel going into your senior night?
Oh, good. You know, the girls are always excited for senior night, even not even the seniors, but the other girls, their teammates too.
Yeah.
You know, trying to support them and be there for them and give them a good night and everything. So it'll be exciting. You know, I know Mia, our transfer from New York, she has her grandmother here in town and some other family members. So I know she's going to be super excited. And Reagan, you know, our other senior, she's going to be excited. She got a little banged up on Friday versus New Hanover, but she's wanting to be out there. So.
Question I asked Coach from Hanover, do you see, and of course we do, but do you see, other than Saniya, do you see any other kids going to the next level?
Yeah, well, you know, we're trying to get Mia somewhere. So,
got you.
So we're trying to get her to play. She definitely wants to, and she can. She has the potential to do that. So we need to, you know, get her in the right spot and the right school, and that's going to be, you know, our focus in the next couple of weeks, try to get her somewhere.
Got you. Because I know as the season winds down and you're a senior, you're thinking like, you know, you got to focus on that, but, you know, what is your next move? Because you want to always have that.
Yeah.
You know, ready to go, and what do you want to do? Do I have the talent to do that and play on to the next level? So Thursday at Laney, you know, so that's going to be, you know, a good game, I think, with the women's.
Of course.
It's going to, you know, I like checking y'all out.
Yeah.
I'm excited, you know, about it. Of course, it's a rivalry now. And I think it's a larger rivalry now with Saniya being Ashley. So what can you say about that going into the final game of the year?
You know, when you talk about Saniya returning back there, I mean, a couple of things. I think it was good that we played them already at our place, so we've played them. It's not like it's the first time that we're seeing them. And then we were there this summer for a jamboree and everything. So, you know, it's not going to be, I don't think, as big as a culture shock, you know, for her to walk in there without, you know, if it was, you know, maybe in December and it was the first time, you know, heading in there. But, you know, like she said, last time we played them, you know, friends off the court, but when we're on the court, you know, that's our opponent. So that's how we have to kind of, you know, look at it. I know she'll do that, and her teammates will be there for her.
Super focused. Last week of regular season, next Tuesday begins conference tournament play, and then we'll see what's going on. Have we already said, okay, this is the #1 seed in the conference? Do y'all have that? Have you? Pretty
much.
Okay.
If we can, the best we would do if we lost Tuesday and Thursday would be to tie.
Okay.
Depending on if everybody else wins out.
Gotcha.
So we should be able to hopefully tomorrow clinch.
All right. And so for women's varsity,
100%.
those conference games, those conference tournament games will be Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yep.
All right, cool. Just want to make sure folks know that. Get on out there, Screaming Eagles. It goes down senior night on Tuesday versus South, and then Thursday at EA Laney. It's going to be some great, exciting games this week. Thank you, Coach, for coming through.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We got more on the way with Sports Roundtable, all brought to you by Papa John's. Welcome back to Sports Roundtable, and we're still talking basketball right now. Men's varsity basketball, Ashley High School, Screaming Eagles. Coach, how you doing today, man?
Doing great. Glad to be back in this seat a little bit.
All right. Look, last week, tough loss by 2, Topsail. Let's talk about it a little bit.
You know, right now Topsail is has been growing. I think a lot of teams go in and take a look at them and they judge a book by its cover. And, you know, you go up there, it's a tough place to play. And, you know, we went in and we just didn't shoot the ball all that well. You know, they jumped on us and we came back and held a lead for a while. And then they came back and went up by a few. And we had a chance at the end of the game. We had a great look for 3 out of a timeout situation. One of the coaches said, let's just go for this thing and get up out of here. One of our better shooters had a great look at it and it just didn't fall. But hats off to Topsail. They've, you know what, they've continued to get better as the year's gone on. And, you know, at this point of the year, you can't be bored with what you're doing.
Right.
This is win time, and you know your team's defined on how they finish, not how they start.
Right. Totally right. Friday, tough game. You went to Hanover. Was that Hanover?
We were actually at home.
Oh, sorry, you at Ashley.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you at Ashley.
Yes.
You at Ashley. 75-50. They got away from you at some point.
You know, it was one of those games. It was just. You know, with the way New Hanover is, they've got some sophomore guards that can really get after you. They control tempo. They get back in transition. It was a 9-point game at halftime. We came out flat in the second half. You know, they knocked down 2 quick threes, and then now you're playing from behind, and then you speed the game up or your players speed the game up because they're looking, and we always say you can't get it back all at one time.
Right.
You got to hit some shots and make some stops. But you know, there's one thing in particular that happened about midway through the third quarter. They rebounded, New Hanover rebounded the ball. They hit the outlet man, free throw line extended, crossed it half court, and then threw another pass. They went 94 feet without the ball hitting the ground.
Wow.
I knew we were in trouble then, but that was great basketball to be able to see the way they got up and down the floor. They were very, very unselfish. Our guys were just off, and you can't be off against a team with that much athleticism.
Right.
They beat us in every aspect of the game. They beat us on the boards. They beat us on the hustle plays. You know, our guys have got to go back and come back out tomorrow night, and we've got to compete. That's the biggest thing. We got to compete tomorrow night, and it being senior night, if you can't get fired up for that, you don't have a pulse.
I want to talk about that. South Brunswick tomorrow night, home senior night.
We have 3 seniors.
Okay.
We have 3 seniors, and you know what? They've 2 of them have been there since I've been there. One of them, this is pretty much his first year of playing organized basketball in high school. So.
Wow.
And he had a really good game. Quincy had a really good game the other night, Robinson for us. And you know what? We just thank them for all their hard work and dedication. We want to thank their parents for allowing them and transporting them to and from, which is a huge responsibility. A lot of times we don't thank the parents enough. We sit back and we talk about basketball, but it is a sacrifice for a lot of parents to get up when we get home at 11:30 at night. And come and get their children. So kudos to all the parents out there.
Definitely. I've asked this question as we wind down the regular season. Do you see anyone, it doesn't even have to be a senior, do you see someone as we wrap up the season going to the next level, becoming a leader next year for the program?
You know, there's several guys that we have. I'm not one to mention names. I think that you know, when you look at things like this, or you read names in the paper, sometimes guys that are young men take things the wrong way. There's a couple kids that I feel like that with sophomores that we have, with a lot of work in the gym during the summertime and on the shooting machine that everybody has, can maybe make it to the next level. It's hard to say right now.
Yeah.
You know, in this county right now, I don't see anyone that is a big time Division I kind of kid.
Right.
Not to say there will not be, but right now in New Hanover County, we've got guys that are Division II players. We've got some kids that may end up going junior college, which is just another route to get to where you want to go.
Exactly.
But in the future, there are a few young kids out there that could be exciting for years to come.
That's what it is. And then Thursday at Laney.
At Laney. Love to go there. We love to compete. Eric and I are real good friends.
Cool.
And, well, actually everybody here. And we'll have to bring it. Laney is one of those teams that right now they've been kind of up and down. But you know, you have to respect what they've done thus far this year, and then we've just got to go and take care of the basketball and knock down some shots in Jordan Gymnasium.
Hey, that's what it is. And then after this, the next Tuesday we'll talk about it, but conference tournament begins, and men's conference tournament is Monday, Wednesday. Am I saying it correctly?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Now I can tell you about what days we're supposed to play.
Yeah.
I can't tell you where we are in the conference.
I
who
got
is
you.
where.
Because you're probably focused on the next game.
That's no lie. I just,
Right.
you know, I've always been that kind of guy. I couldn't tell you where we are. You just
Right.
you take one game at a time.
And that's what all the coaches say.
And you can't look too far ahead. You
Right.
know, you take care of your business, then things are going to be what they are. They'll be what they be.
You're right.
So we'll figure it out at that meeting on Saturday who's
Okay.
going to do what, because there's nothing else that we can do other than focus on tomorrow night against South.
That's what it is. You heard it here from Coach. Ashley is going down. Make sure you get out for senior night tomorrow night against South Brunswick, as well as Thursday we're going to go up the road at Laney. So get all your fans together, the parents, let's get together and check out these last games of the regular season. We're getting ready for some conference tournament play. Right here is Sports Roundtable, and we'll be right back with more, all brought to you by Papa John's. Welcome back to Sports Roundtable. I am Brandon Big B, and we're still talking basketball, but let's go back to New Hanover High School and talk women's varsity. How you doing, Coach Sanson?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Earlier this week, last Tuesday, you were at South Brunswick.
Yes, sir.
Up by 15, won by 15. Let's talk about that. How was that game?
It was good.
At South?
It was good. We, you know, as I told you, past couple of times we've been here, you know, we're working at 3A side as hard as we can, and that was a win that we had to have.
Okay.
And girls played really well. Was happy defensively more than anything on how we played.
Good.
But it was a good night.
Amazing. And then you were at Ashley, if I'm telling you correctly. You were at Ashley on Friday. Ashley seemed to get away from you a little bit.
Yes, sir, they
on
did.
Friday.
Yeah. Coach Gale's got a great team. Sanaya, Lexi, and I always forget number 20's name.
Is that Mia?
Mia, yes. They got after us. I mean, I went back and looked at the film a couple times this weekend, and our youth showed.
Okay.
Big time. Our youth showed.
In previous conversations I've had with you and Coach Gaddison, you both have talked about being youthful at New Hanover High School and having that youth and, you know, just kind of form that and shape it because you see some good things on the horizon.
Yes, sir, we do.
Good.
We do. It's I think we got six freshmen that are on the roster that dress out varsity basketball games, and we probably got, I would say, 4 of those young ladies get consistent minutes.
Wow.
Got a good young lady. She's our backup point guard, Ty Holmes.
Okay.
Got a shooter, Emma Becky. She's been working real hard.
Okay.
And Miss Abby Seeley has been doing a pretty good job too. So we're excited.
That's what's up. We, like I've said on most of the previous interviews with all of the basketball coaches, men and women's, we're into the last week of regular season.
Yes, sir.
So inside of that regular season, you guys are getting ready to go up against Tuesday at West.
We're at West,
You're
yes.
at West Brunswick. Tough gym to be in.
Tough place.
Tough place to be in.
I live in Brunswick County.
Oh,
so
okay. You know about Charlotte.
yeah,
I got you.
Charlotte. Yes, sir.
So how do you prepare your young ladies for that? Because it's, you know, they come out, and I think it might be their senior night, if I'm correct.
Well, I mean, I've told them about it all year. I mean, especially with the they got a taste of it earlier in the year. We played at North, exact same gym. We played at South. Weren't as many people at South.
Gotcha.
And I kept preparing them for, you know, when we do go to West. When we do go to West, it's just it's different. I guess you could say it's like a little Cameron in a sense, you know.
Right.
But
because it's tight.
Yeah,
you know?
it is. But I think we're up for the battle.
Good.
With us, with that particular game, it's going to have a big impact on our 3A teams because right now Topsail, New Hanover, and North Brunswick, we're all sitting at 5 and 7.
Oh wow!
And
okay.
So we play West. West beat Topsail earlier this year. There's a good little mix, I think, and then Topsail and North play on Friday night.
Gotcha.
So it'll have some implications.
Yes, it will. And then I guess it's a little different schedule because Thursday, Hoggard comes to New Hanover High School.
Yes, sir.
For that game, which is always we throw records out the door when we play Hanover and Hoggard because it's just that big rivalry.
Yeah, it is.
It's a classic rivalry, and the gym lights on. I mean, the gym lights are always on, but the gym lights on and there's a bunch of people in there.
Yeah, this will be their taste. Well,
okay.
The Laney game was pretty packed, and you know this game against Hoggard will be. It'll be a good crowd. It's senior night for us.
Yes.
We've got 3 seniors, and I know our last game against Hoggard, we didn't feel like we played up to our potential. So, you know, the girls circled this one and said, "Hey, we got to have a better showing."
Gotcha. That's really big for them to feel that way.
Yeah.
And you know, and get their seniors, you know, amped up and say, hey, you know, because it can be emotional. It's your last game.
Yes,
you're a
sir.
senior. You know, you want to do your best and you want to leave out of the gym like I accomplished something.
Right.
So that's sometimes why we throw records out the door when it's crosstown rivalries, Coach. And then, Coach, look, we jump into conference tournament.
Yes, sir.
The following week. So conference tournament, and I think I'm going to repeat it again, conference women's games will be Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yes, sir.
Correct? And so that will begin next week. And depending on where these 5 and 7s fall in the next 2 games will depend on where you play inside of the conference tournament. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
And then after the conference tournament, where you fall in a 3A situation.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
the only thing that's not looking good for us on the playoff side is that if we were the number 1 seed, since we don't have a 500 record, we don't get that top seed, you know, like at your conference. We just basically will go in as a wild card type.
So you have to kind of play from the bottom.
Got to play from the bottom.
I remember past tournaments where, you know, you wouldn't have the best team, you might lose one, but you could play out of the bracket.
Oh, yeah.
But you got to play every game all the way up to the championship. You don't get no break.
That's it. That is it.
And so by the time you get championship game, you're tired.
You're exhausted.
But that's what it is. So let's get out there, Wildcats, women's varsity. This Tuesday is senior night. Am I correct?
Yes, sir. This Thursday.
This Thursday is senior night at Hoggard. Tuesday, we're at West Brunswick. Thursday is senior night versus Hoggard. And wish you good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you so much.
And next week, we'll be definitely talking about conference play and what's going on, conference tournament.
Yes, sir.
All right. We'll be right back with more Sports Roundtables, all brought to you by Papa John's. Welcome back to Sports Roundtable. We talking basketball. Women's basketball has been exciting this entire year. Not that it has not been, but it's definitely going down. We have E.A. Laney, women's varsity. How you doing, Coach?
Good. How are you?
I am well. Let's talk about it. Last Tuesday, you were up against
Hoggard.
44-28.
Yeah. Rough game for us. We knew it was going to be a big game. You know, we went into their place and beat them in overtime the first time through, and then with them coming to Laney, it was a big game. We, at the end of the day, didn't perform.
Gotcha.
Didn't execute. So, you know, took that one on the chin. Had a couple people out, 2 starters out that missed that game. So hopefully with them coming back this week, we'll be able to pick up where we left off.
So we fast forward to Friday, and you go to South Brunswick, and you win 38-23.
Yep.
Do you think that's hey, let's go ahead and readjust and get ready to play?
Yeah, I think that was a great game for us to bounce back to kind of refocus our headspace, and you know, it's hard when there's so much build-up from a game and then you don't come out on the end that you want to. It can be exhausting and draining, but I was proud of the way that we came out Friday. You know, had some different combinations of people in there, trying to fill some spots that we were missing still, and we had a couple girls step up and fill those roles for us.
As a coach, how does that make you feel to see, you know, is it the aha moment, like, thank you for, you know, this whole season I've been training, talking to y'all, fussing, and then you see someone pop up like, oh, this is what we're supposed to be doing, and it winds up a positive result for you. Yeah,
and you know, we talk about every player on our team has a role. It's different than the person next to you, and your time could be any time. So doesn't matter, you know, if you're a shooter and haven't played the whole game and we're down by 3 and I need you to go in and hit a 3, that's your time. You know, but we did have, like I said, some girls step up and get some more minutes and play really well for us.
This Tuesday, you're at North. I actually be at the game. It's their senior night.
Yes.
And so how do you feel about going into North playing?
It's a senior night, so it's always going to be emotional. Whether you're visiting or it's your own senior night.
Correct.
And they've been playing really, really well. So for us going into it, I mean, we still have to stay focused on what we're going in there to do and executing our game plan and, you know, showing respect to those seniors for that team that put in the same work as our seniors throughout their 4 years. But at the end of the day, it's still got to play the game.
Hey, Coach, you're definitely telling the truth. And then Thursday, because it's a little different schedule, because it's the last 2 games of the regular season, it's your senior night at Laney versus Ashley.
Yes.
Little rivalry there.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to be playing Ashley, and Sanaya is now on Ashley's basketball team. So there's some, you know, not animosity, but there's some rivalry, you know, and I think that, you know, the girls know that, the young ladies know that, and I think they go hard for that game.
Yeah.
You feel that?
Yeah, I mean, again, there's going to be a lot of emotions just because of senior night. But then there's also those other emotions of, you know, when we went to Ashley, I thought that we personally let some of that get to us. We didn't execute well. And after the game, you know, it wasn't anything that I had to say. It was more of them talking to me saying, Coach, like, that's not good enough. You know, we will be better. And so when they know that that wasn't their best and that they can be better, as a coach, I can't really say much else because they're right. But for us, it'll be an emotional night. It'll be a fun night.
How many seniors do you have on your team?
We have 5 seniors.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so.
A lot of leadership there.
A lot of leadership.
Okay.
You know, and they all play different roles for us, but they're all really strong parts of our team.
Gotcha. So, Laney, you heard it. Get ready. They're at North Brunswick on Tuesday. We need you out there, E.A. Laney Buccaneers. And then it's senior night. on this Thursday. Now, like I've been revisiting, women's conference tournament play starts next Tuesday.
Yep.
Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yep.
How you feel about going into the conference tournament?
Good. You know, it's a chance for you to see a couple teams again. You know, that can be a good thing, that can be a bad thing. But for us, just still taking it one game at a time and hopefully putting ourselves in a position to be in a better seeded spot going into that tournament with some wins this week. And we'll go from there.
EA Laney Buccaneers, you heard it. You know what you need to do. Get on out there and support women's varsity basketball for the Buccaneers. We'll be right back with more Sports Roundtable, all brought to you by Papa John's. Welcome back to Sports Roundtable. I'm your host, Brandon Big B, and Coach Davis couldn't be here from EA Laney Buccaneers men's varsity basketball, but we want to talk about what was going on last week. Actually, Thursday they went up against Hoggett High School, and they did lose 55-38. And I also want to give you their score because on that Friday they played South Brunswick and beat South Brunswick 58-40. As they go forward, like their senior night is coming up this Thursday against Ashley, and Tuesday, tomorrow, they're at North Brunswick. So we look forward to seeing some men's varsity action from the EA Laney Buccaneers. And then right there in Michael Jordan Gymnasium, their senior night this Thursday. Tuesday, for everyone, begins conference tournament play. For men, it's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and for the women, it's Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Get ready for some great basketball coming up in the next 2 weeks, and definitely playoff time. I'm ready for it. You get ready for it. It's Sports Roundtable, and we'll be back next week.